The U.S. military says it's recovered electronics parts from the suspected Chinese surveillance balloon that it shot down earlier this month. Officials believe they could be helpful in determining the exact purpose of the structure. Beijing said it was a platform to monitor the weather. The search is continuing for the wreckage of 3 other objects shot down last weekend that have so far not been identified. Here's our North America correspondent Peter Bowes.
The salvage operation to retrieve the balloon shot down by the US military earlier this month. These new images show it being dragged onto a boat off South Carolina. US officials said it was being used by China to monitor sensitive military sites, but Beijing insisted it was a weather platform that had blown off course. Investigators say a closer examination of electronic devices attached to the balloon should reveal more about what it was doing. But there are no such clues to the identity of the 3 additional objects that were brought down in Canada and the US states of Alaska and Michigan between last Friday and Sunday. They were much smaller, with one being described as having an octagonal shape with strings hanging off it. No, says the White House, it's not what you're thinking.
I know there have been questions and concerns about this, but there is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. I'm just, I loved E.T., the movie, but I'm just going to leave it there.
Laughter from the White House press corps, but why was it necessary to shoot the objects out of the sky? Senior US government officials say they pose no danger to people on the ground, but they could have been a threat to civilian aircraft, and there's a chance they too could have been spying on America.
Even though we had no indications that any of these 3 objects were surveilling, we couldn't rule that out. And so you want to err on the side of safety here in terms of protecting our national security interests, and the fact that these objects could have and likely did at some point in their path transit over potential military sites of ours or sensitive sites.
Officials say since the Chinese balloon was brought down, they've been monitoring US airspace more closely, and that may explain why objects have been spotted that might otherwise have gone unnoticed. This bizarre episode has further eroded what was already a contentious relationship between the US and China. Washington says Beijing has flown surveillance balloons over as many as 40 countries in 5 continents. China says US balloon flights have passed through its airspace, but Washington denies that. For now, the search continues for wreckage from the balloon and the 3 still unidentified objects, while tensions with China show no sign of cooling down. Peter Bowes, BBC News.